Sangha. It's somehow it became my fortune today to speak. We didn't have a speaker today, so one thing on one thing, everybody have to today bear me to hear. So with the prayers, we can continue to the wonderful topic. Just thought actually I gave this topic on Youth Sangha, but I'll be much more deeper. We'll dive in on this topic, much more advanced. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यं नोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति शुभदन्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुक्तपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. So this is a very important topic I thought to reflect on, because we all go through every one of us go through some of the emotions in life, because actually emotions is part of our life. If there is no emotions, then we can be lifeless, or just become like a yogi, staying there, caring about nothing. But some kind of emotion that makes us a human. So we can see that how our ancient scriptures, Ramayana and Mahabharata, especially, which we are going to touch upon, and maybe some Srimad Bhagavatam, that how it really closely connects us through this scriptures. And because we all don't want to be in a whimsical world, right? So we talk about so many things, but what about the reality, right? Because that's why scripture actually touch everything to our human emotions, touch to the ground, right? Scripture talks about it involves all different human emotions, right? And this, especially this timeless wisdom, the Ramayana Mahabharata actually has brought this emotion in so many different aspects, different life of devotees, different life of people, to make us learn how to handle these emotions, right? From the shame to fame, from humility to pride, from pride to humility, fame to shame, both, from jealousy to envy to friendship. It has touched human emotion the best way possible, right? So even when the Lord appears, right, as very, very close to human connection, like Lord Ramachandra, Lord Krishna, they saw that emotional aspect to us, to teach us, to make us so easy to connect. Actually, whatever Krishna does, whatever Lord Ram does, it just doesn't become completely beyond. Definitely Krishna does so many things that is beyond our comprehension, right? But a lot of things he touch a part of our life, right? So we can see so many things, just like Yudhishthir Maharaj. It shows the weakness of gambling. It's not like make it everybody is such an idol. It shows the weakness also, right? Lord Indra, falling down, doing so many mistakes, he corrects himself. So actually, these all emotions, this example, what it does actually strengthens us. We are not only the one, right? So showing all this action and consequences, right? Is it is showing that there is no judgment. We all can make mistakes, and we all have chances to improve. This is the most important thing. We can change, right? There's aspect of change is required. So that's when Bhagavad Gita is explained Tasmat Shastra Pramanante Karya Vyavasito. What? Because Shastra, what it gives? It gives a pramana. It is a pramana for all of us. We have to take the shelter of scriptures, right? Because it will guide us what to do and what not to do. So many things we think, oh, I supposed to do like this. So many people might think, oh no, this is supposed to be done like this way. Many people have different ideas and visions and a chain of thought. But what is the reality? What is the truth? Right? They will get confused. So Krishna very clearly explains in this verse that for us, we have to make a Shastra as a pramana. And he says that Gyatva Shastra Vinuktadam. So we have to learn this Shastra. We have to understand the scriptures. Then karma kartum iharasi. So Arjuna wants to perform his action, right? As we know, that action you have to perform. Nahi kaschit chanam api jato tistat karma krit. Action we have to perform. But based on how we perform this action is by knowledge of scriptures. Jnana dipena bhasvatha. We need this knowledge, right? As Krishna reveals this knowledge to us, right? When we surrender, when we practice, right? Jnana dipena bhasvatha. That's why this deepa within the heart actually reveals, right? But we have to take shelter of the scriptures all the time. Very, very important, right? Whenever there is confusion, take shelter. What is a pramana? What is a thought process? If you see, whenever there's a discussions, right? Whenever they're like, there's a confusion of dharma. What does the scripture say? Where is examples? What does the acharya says? All these things becomes our foundation, right? To make a right judgment, right? So all this psychological, is dressed in very beautiful storytelling, right? And I was telling this Mahabharata and Ramayana have so many wonderful, beautiful stories. So many wonderful, beautiful stories. And we'll touch upon few of the stories which we know, and we'll describe, so many emotions. And these stories even are valid. This principle is still valid today, and will be teaching in the future, right? These principles are very, very deeply relatable, even through this era. Even the prior it was relatable, and today also it is relatable. That's why we're learning. That's why we learn so many things. We're getting so many things from this, and even in future, it will become the guidance for the humankind to come, right? So the scriptures gives, as I was saying, all different emotions, even weakness, right? Revealing our weakness is not a weakness, right? Just like Angada, when he was in the ocean, all the monkeys they was sitting down, wondering what to do, how to cross over the ocean, right? And Angad was saying that, oh, I can jump, I can cross over the ocean, but the problem is I would not have enough energy to come back, right? So human beings are being reminded of this strength, right, and also weakness, right? And scriptures, actually, this Veda actually means knowledge, right? And this knowledge, this Veda, especially not like materialistic knowledge, it's actually knowledge that makes us, that which is very much needed in our life to get satisfaction and happiness, right? And everybody is looking for that. So the Veda try to give this knowledge, information to us. When we really imbibe and practice, it will give this, right? As Krishna says, it'll give us the param sukha. This in Bhagavad Gita, right? So we can see that how so many examples, like as I said, Ahilya, she fell down. She got somehow attached with Indra, who came as her husband, right? Gautam Rishi, right? Oh, she was wanted. Look at that. Even the demigod like Lord Indra once is desiring me. How she had that tints of pride, right? And the way she has to go through, she became like, just cursed by her husband, right? Sobari Muni, performing so many thousands of years on the Yamuna. What happened is when he saw a fish mating under the water, immediately he had a desire to get married. And he goes to King Mandhata and requested, I want to marry your daughter. But he was very old, right? And king knowingly didn't want to marry his daughter to Sobari Muni. And he said that, like, if my daughter desires, of course they can marry you. But Sobari Muni understood. Oh, because now this is the issue, because of my physical condition. I look old, but he's a very aesthetic sage. So with his yogic siddhi, he became so handsome. The opulence in Bhagavatam describes is such opulence he displayed. Even the king was shocked. And all the daughters, he had 50 daughters, all of them married to Saubari Muni, right? So we can see that the scripture shows that, like, someone can be very austere, right? But can one fall down? But that doesn't stop here, right? He, despite of all this, enjoying with all these 50 wives, he still could not be happy. So later he realized, oh, there is no end to this material desire of enjoyment, right? In this life and the next. So then later, after a few years, like, he accepted Vanaprastha, and after that he performed with all his wives, and he performed such austerity. Then he went back to garden, and because of him, all his wife actually went back to garden with him, right? So slowly we'll touch upon some of the emotions, right? One of the emotions we have is anger, which most of us always, we are on the top tip all the time, right? Somebody says something about us, we jump on it. How can you say something to me like this? How, like, start complaining, trying to do. This is one of the emotion, actually, one of the very, very dangerous emotions, right? It can destroy everything. It's like a fire, right? It's a fire. Fire generally tend to destroy. That is meant for, right? As it says that holding an anger is like grasping, and holding a hot coal, like, you burning within, and let me destroy somebody, and throwing this burning coal with intent of throwing in somebody else. And what happens? It actually burn ourselves first before it burns somebody else. Definitely burn somebody else too, but you will also get burned, and you will also burn them, right? Very, very dangerous emotion, right? Now, even Ambarish Maharaj, when Durvasa Muni, he was so furious with Ambarish Maharaj, right? And he really wanted to destroy, and he created, like, demon from his hair, like, and Ambarish Maharaj, he was not affected by the anger of emotion, right? He also did not reciprocate. Oh, this sadhu, I'm trying to serve him. I served him so nicely. Why are you getting upset, angry? He did not show that expression. He was begging forgiveness and praying. And Sudarshan Chakra came and killed that demon and was trying to kill Durvasa. You see that? So how he handles somebody's emotion of anger of somebody. The Ambarish Maharaj is exemplary on this. If somebody is angry with us, right, we have to try to accept, just like Lord Brahma praying, Tattenu kampam susamikshemano bhunjana evatma kritam pipakam. Krishna, I accept whatever things comes in my life, because it's all my karma, accepting that it was all my karma, right? And I supposed to get more, actually, but your blessing, you're so merciful to me that you're giving little of what wrong I have done in this world, right? This is the mood, and that's why this desire, actually, Ichcha dvesa samuthena dvanda mohina bharata. Right? Because the desire and hate, right? Ichcha and dvesa. This where it arises from, where is samuthena? Is right dvanda mohina, because of this duality, the illusion. O Bharata, O Arjuna, right? Sarva bhutani sammoham sarge yanti param tapa. So everybody gets in delusion. I hate him. I like him. I want this. I don't want this. That's manthan actually makes one in this illusion, this bhram, right? So that's how we have to come out of this dvanda, mohino bharata, right? So that's why desire is very, 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 very powerful. If we don't have right desire, because it is saying, Mahendra was saying, I heard a lecture, they said desire is something that make us come down to this world. We're suffering because we developed some wrong desires. And because of this, when we now try to adapt or try to develop a right desire, we can go back to Godhead. So it is very, very important that desire has to be, checked. So in Ramayana, it says that Surpanakha means long nails. It represents. So what we do, and see, this said that Surpanakha has so long nails, right? And then when we have long nails, what do? We cut. So desire are like nails, right? It has some use. Some use are there. Nails. You need nails, but for some limits, right? For some limits, we have the use of desire, right? But when we have to stop to fulfill what comes, right? In Isopanishad, Isavashyamidam sarvam yat kimcha jagatam jagat tena tiktena bhunjitaha ma krita swidhanam. Like, whatever we have, everybody has quota. You have a quota of enjoyment. But when you go bound beyond that quota, then you have to suffer. That is for sure. Right? So as we said, like, we have the quota, we have the desire of nails, you can desire certain things. But when you try to go beyond, right, then you have to suffer. Right? So that's why, because this Bisayi, the desire of the sense gratification is very, very powerful. As Krishna says, Dhayato Visayan Pumsa. Everything starts from a desire. What a beautiful car, what a beautiful girl, what a beautiful, all these desires are manifested. Right? Just like Ravana, this desire was manifested by Surpanakha on Ravana. Right? About Mother Sita, she's such a beautiful lady. She's supposed to be your wife. This nonsense, this low life human, Ram, he's not qualified to have Sita. You are the one. Ravan, you're the best among all the people. Who is the best? You are the one. So the best person should have the best. So Sita should be yours. And he describes the beauty of Mother Sita, right? And that loss developed, right? That dhyato bisayan pumsaha. In human, when there's everything starts with dhyana. Sangasti supajayate, sangat sanjayate kama, kamat krodha vijayate. And when that lust is not being fulfilled, what happens? Anger will be coming within our heart, and we are ready to destroy everything. And that's what exactly Ravana did. He sacrificed everybody in the war, his sons, beloved brothers, everybody was in the trap of his anger, right? So powerful. So that's why we see Asukthama, that he was also very much consumed by rage. When his father died, he had this hatred within his heart, right? When Dhristadyumna killed Dronacharya, right? And that anger was there. And he was a Brahmana. A Brahmana is meant to be compassionate naturally, right? That's what Krishna became. There is nobody in whole scriptures that Krishna cursed, actually, Aswathama. because of his you're a Brahmana. And he killed, all the 5 sons of Pandavas. When? While they were sleeping, not even fighting. Even, right? One thing was that. And second thing, what he did, when when he was when then after he thought like, oh, I killed the Pandavas, now I want to repent. Oh, he went to Vyasadeva. Later he figured out, oh, Pandavas are still alive, right? And he used the Brahmastra to kill them. He was not inside within, not repenting. It's all artificial repentance. Oh my God! I killed the 5 Pandavas while sleeping. Oh, I want to take repentance. The Vyasadeva, when Vyasa said all the Pandavas are not dead, right? And Pandavas were running after him to catch him, and he put the Brahmastra to kill. And then Arjuna also threw the Brahmastra. Later Arjuna took it back. But you see the anger of Ashottama. What he did? He want to kill a baby in the womb who is not even born. How inhuman one can be, right? What inhuman? He became so brutal that anger of revenge actually destroyed his consciousness. He was ready to kill such an innocent baby, not even born. You see, that's what happens. It takes everything. It takes our intelligence actually, right? So anger is very, very powerful. And just like Lakshman also, that Suparnaka, because Lakshman also became very, very angry, right? But Lakshman checked Suparnaka because she wanted to kill Madhusudana. Lakshman became angry too. But Lakshman, anger was not arise just because of its false ego. Because of he arise his anger is to defend dharma, right? And protect, right? So, but this kind of anger should be checked. It should be always under the higher guidance. So based on guidance of Lord Ram, he saw the anger, right? So the anger can be checked. So we have to remain under higher guidance during the time. So another we can see that Valis, he also was so angry with Sugriv. We know that when Vali went to fight Maya Danav, right? 1 year he was fighting under this cave. 1 year. Sugriv told this is something wrong because Maya Danav always used to Mayavi actually always just come and challenge Bali, and they used to fight, always run away. So one time he really came, and Bali said something is wrong. Then he went inside a cave. Bali did not listen to Sugriv, and he was waiting on the cave. Not 1 day, not 2 days. It was 1 year already passed. Blood started coming out of the cave. Then he thought, oh my God, Bali might be dead, and if Mayavi comes out, he will create havoc in the community. So he, with a huge stone, he closed the cave. But Vali, what happened? He misunderstood. Oh, this was my brother. He was planning to kill me, and he covered this. This is him. That, and because of this anger, they were such a brother. They were like such a loving brother. Now what happened? Just because of misunderstanding, they were ready to kill each other, big time, right? And because of that, Sugriv had to run every place in the whole world. That's what happened, right? And also we can see that how the Gandhari, you see that she became so angry with Krishna, right? It's a misdirected anger. Sometimes what happens is we don't see the faults of our own people, what they have done. Oh, they are my people means they are right. That mentality, just like Duryodhan, just like Jarasan, same thing happened. Oh, when Kamsa was killed, all her daughter came running. Oh, father, father, father. Your son-in-law is killed by Krishna. Then Jarasan became so angry. He never inquired and thought like, what what made Krishna kill Kamsa? So many sins, so many suffering he had done to people, right? But Jarasandha didn't think like that. Oh, all my daughters are widow. This is because of Krishna. I have to kill him. I have to destroy him. You see? Same way, Gandhari, oh Krishna, you could save, you could stop the war. You didn't stop it. But what about your sons? What are all the dharma they were doing? What about that? Right? You never checked that, right? And she gave curse to Krishna. So sometimes this is our mentality. We don't see our fault, right? We should be like Ambarish Maharaj many times. We should see, I am fallen. I might not have qualification. I accept my fault, right? And retaliate that anger. That's the way, right? So we should not be in this destructive and misdirected anger, right? Just like Vali and Gandhari on a misdirected anger and destructive anger like Ravana, right? But we have to be a very protective or righteous anger, because just like when Hanuman actually found out that when he discovered in Mother Sita in Asukvatika, you know, and he also got insulted in Ravana's court. But what he did is tragically, not like, oh, now I'm angry. Oh, this Ravana insulted me. He tried to bind me. This, I'm gonna destroy. No, he uses very constructive mindset of anger. He exactly know how to burn Lanka strategically. See, from that also we can know that how intelligent his still mind was, very clean. Not like our anger. We just like don't care. We give a damn about anybody. We just there to destroy everything, right? That way we can know that our anger is wrong. So we have to think. It's a thought process. We have to give time, cool down ourselves to make any decision, right? Sometimes it says whenever you want to speak, especially when you're angry and upset, take some time. I remember Chaitanya Charan Prabhu shares this, what he does when he gets some anger or on somebody or something, some frustration. He start writing, vomit all what he has to say, right? And later deletes it, doesn't send it. So sometimes it has to be expressed, but how to control it, right? That is a way sometimes, right? So anger is such a energy, right? When connected to dharma, it protects. The same anger when it connected to our false ego, right? When, oh, this is touching my false ego, I'm not going to leave. Then it destroys. It destroys everybody. That's what happened. Hastinapur is such a kingdom. Whoever even thought such a great kingdom like Bhishma, Drona, Kripacharya, you just name it. Such a warriors who have thought that they will be destroyed completely in 18 days. Can you imagine? Right? Ravana, who could even think to challenge Ravana? Right? But anger actually destroyed because of the false ego, completely destroyed. Right? So that's why the fire of the ego either can save us or can destroy. We have to use this, just like in Mayapur, when the dacoits they were attacking in Mayapur, devotees were fighting like anything. The Matas were holding guns, so many things. So those angers are very valid, right? These are not based on false ego, right? They were based on dharma, right? That's why Krishna, actually, the whole goal of Bhagavad Gita was to ignite the anger in Arjuna for the right purpose. Hey, Arjuna, you're Kshatriya. How can you act like, oh, Arjuna said, like, what is the point of this fighting? I will be a saint. I'll go and take sannyas, right? And Krishna, started chastising me, fool number one, because that's not what you are born for, what that's not meant for, right? So that's why you utilize our Kshatriya dharma, that infuse, bringing that anger to fight against the adharma, right? So the other aspect of our emotions, is grief. One of the most painful emotion we have is rejections and separation. We get rejected, Somebody got losing the job, some, losing a boyfriend, girlfriend, you get somebody propose and they get rejected, even people suicide. Or like, somebody pass away, the close one. It is most painful time of one's life, right? Very, very painful actually. And Soka is very, very painful emotions because the attachment in this material world is very real, right? When Arjuna, you just imagine when his son Abhimanyu died, you know how crazy he went? Once you read Mahabharata, actually, what kind of what he took maybe so many 200-300 plus vows. Not only one vow he took. He took so many vows. He was saying that all this sin, so many categories of sin will acquire me. Not just that I'm not gonna go on a fire. No, he took so many, vows that like, if I don't kill Chedrath tomorrow before the sunset, this all sin will come on me. This sin will come on me. That sin will come on me. He was taking vows out of us. See, because it's human expression of emotions. It's painful. It's natural, right? So this emotion is more very, very painful, right? So, but when we are in this the process of losing, the loss that is happening, we should never lose ourselves. So that's why we need guidance. We need people surrounding us. There was Krishna over there to guide us. He lost even in the beginning of the battle. He was lost. Right? He lost everything in his consciousness. I don't want to fight. Right? That's why we need people to be guided. Right? We need devotees all the time to be as a part of all this emotional breakdown, our emotional life ups and down. Right? There's a very wonderful story of the Ramanujacharya. One devotee came to take sannyas from Ramanujacharya, and he was saying that, oh, what is my qualification? Even my wife died. I didn't even cry. How detached I am. How detached I am. So I'm qualified to become sannyas. So Ramacharya says, no, no, no. You go back and get remarried. A person who cannot even cry for his own wife, what can he cry for other people, other living people? Where is the Jiva Daya will come? They will become dry, fanatic, right? There has to be compassion. Very important aspect, right? So we can see there's so many stories from Ramayana, which that all this grief, this pain, this has taken to the extent that they lose themselves. Like Dashrath Maharaj, he left his body. He died of grief. He died of grief after Rama's exile. He could not take it. Oh, Ram, 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 my son, my son. Because when these emotions is not checked on time, it can consume us entirely. Consume us entirely. So Dashrath death isn't just a story of a dying king, actually. It is actually a study of emotional burnt out. When we are completely burnt out, the burnt out of this pain, this grief, right? He couldn't find this coping mechanism to handle, right? It was so painful to him. So in that process, he lost because that he couldn't cope, like losing his son. He couldn't take it. Oh, because of me, my son has to go to jungle. So he couldn't take it, right? So that's why. So we should always, like when we have this, we should always have somebody to take shelter. We should not be in a bottle up emotion, choked up emotion, which will completely destroy us. Be very, very careful, right? And other, see, we said Sita, Mother Sita, she also had grief. She was in such a separation in a Sukvatika, but she always maintained dignity. You know how much torture the Rakshasas were doing, how much torture Ravana was doing, emotionally, physically trying to, like, torture her. All the Rakshasas were really, really, really troubling her, actually. But she never gave a hope, right? Even in those situations, right? So she was holding her dignity in the isolation. Sometimes we might go through so much situation, but one should internally focus. Who am I? Right? I know, like, one's destiny is written by ourselves. So I have to take care, stay tuned to ourselves. Even the external circumstances are out of our control. This is Mother Sita teaching us, right? She teaches this ultimate example of maintaining one's self, one's sense, like, of self, while such a toxic environment is everywhere. Everywhere such a toxic environment, right? She refused to let Ravana define her worth. See, that's how we have to be. We need to know our worth. What is our goal, right? So this is when we are so much focused on that, then you will not be captured by this emotion, right? And you see that you see Lord Ram, he was also in a breakdown when Mother Sita was, trying to find Mother Sita, crying, talking with the bird, talking with the trees, such an emotion he was going through because of love, right? But despite of all this pain he was going through, all this, he never stopped to find Mother Sita. He never stopped to perform his duty, right? So one should always, again, come back to the ground. Come back to the ground. That there is some other aspect of me, right? There are some duties I have to perform. So that Ram's journey actually shows that grief and duty are not mutually exclusive, right? He mourned, he cried deeply for separation of Mother Sita, but he did not allow that pain, to be dysfunctional, right? He executed his duty, right? That is very important part. So it teaches us that, like, it's okay to cry. We'll break down, right? But we must also keep showing up our responsibilities. Very, very important, actually. It's not easy said and done. Very difficult, right? But we have to push. We have to push ourselves, right? And we can see again, we come to the same in Mahabharata, how the emotion of Gandhari, right? What happened? She was taking this grief within for years, for decades, and suppressed. And what? It came as a outburst into curse, right? So that's why this silent treatment of this emotion, right, and its toxicity, right, toxicity, it can, like, it can be very troublesome, right? And that's why sometimes this expression, she actually had shown this expression of grief, right, in a very wrong way. So we have to be very, very careful, very, very careful in that, right? So how, like, this passive suppressed, how it manifests outward anger into toxic vibes, very toxic vibes. So we should not keep these emotions within. The hatred, those kind of hatred, pain, grief, the kind of this hatred emotions, in terms of that, the pain you carrying with the hatred is very, very dangerous, right? And on the other hand, you see Kunti Maharani, you see, she was carrying this with in her heart of this grief of Karna, right? Her entire life, unspoken grief, isolated, right? She was carrying this secret of Karna for decades, right? And what happened, right? It created a barrier between her and her husband, her sons, right? So this burden of secrecy, right? Holding like onto secret, isolates us from people we love most. Sometimes that's what happens, right? So it becomes a very deep burden. So we have to be very, very careful on that also, right? And on the other hand, Yudhishthir Maharaj, when all the war happened, how Yudhishthir Maharaj reacted. He was in such a grief, such a pain. He was crying. He was blaming himself. Everybody tried to pacify him. Even Krishna tried to pacify him. But he was not. He was still blaming himself. How can I let this happen? Right? So this reality of winning became, right, it became a guilt for him, actually. All this loss of kingdom, so many family lost, everything, so many people. I wish, like, that idea of winning, actually success, right? On what cost, right? He couldn't process that, comprehend that, right? So very big, very, very difficult it became. Eventually, he went, Lord Krishna took him to Bhishma Pitama, and finally was pacified by the knowledge of Bhishma Pitama, right? So this is what it is, right? And another one, like, you can see Draupadi. She transformed her grief into fierce resolution, right? She used her grief to fuel for justice. They have to be punished. When Krishna comes to meet the Pandavas after the Vastraharan, she was crying, tears. It says that she did Abhishek of the Lord, lotus feet by tears, and she was telling Krishna, Krishna, how can you allow this to happen, right? I'm a queen, and I'm a friend, and I'm a devotee. How can you make it happen? You're supposed to protect me. All with this three criteria, you're supposed to protect me. How can this happen? Right? So she was taking this, she didn't get over it. But that became to challenge. She always invoke, that pain to all this five husband, for fighting for dharma. Right? So we can see that sometimes this some emotional pain can also be turned into social, like, productive or transformation force also, right? We should not accept everything. You have to challenge. There will be pain, but if something is wrong, there is abuse, there is, you have to challenge these emotions, right? Because the changes has to be required. It's painful, right? So that's what it is. So we can see that grief is love with nowhere to go. The epics teaches us to grieve fully, then return to the duty, right? We should express, we should feel that pain. That's okay, but do not forget our duty. Suppressions destroys. When we suppress too much of these emotions, the soka, it destroys us, actually, inside us. So expression heals. That's why Dadati Prati Granati Guhyam Akhyati Prachati. These are the whole process of Krishna consciousness. Rav Goswami describing that this exchange, right, actually help us. Because when you keep everything within your heart, what happens? It becomes hollow. You become suppressed. You become frustrated, right? Sometimes we express things, it's like relax a little bit. So sometimes we have to have people to express. So grief is not a weakness, right? It is a price of love, because we love, right? So honor it and then rise through it, right? So another, we can see the anxiety and fear, right? So fear, actually, you can see, actually becomes, it represents our weakness, right? Why we are fearful? Because when we think, oh, I will not able to do it, right? Then there is fear. If you have confidence, what's the fear of, right? But that fear actually is helpful for us. Because what? Because understanding our weakness, what it becomes the foundation of right growth, right? When we know these are my faults, these are my weakness, then I know that where I need to improve, right? These are the places and my changes. These are the places why I have to work on, It can be spiritual, it can be material, whatever it is, right? So it is very important to understand our weakness, right? The anxiety comes when we don't know, right? But the real actually, Bhagavatam describes what is real fear. Bhayam ditya viniveta tasyat isat apetasya viparyosmiti. When we go against, opposite to Krishna consciousness, then real fear starts. When we really connects with Krishna consciousness, then fear doesn't happen. As we know, this example Srila Prabhupada gives about the cat and the rat. Just like death, that is meant to happen, right? Because death is such a painful thing, because you are losing everything. Losing everything what you have acquired in this world. You have done so much hard work, day and night, giving up all your comfort, all your sleep. You made a house, you made a business, you made so much money. But now you have to give up. It's all going out from the hand. It's going out. What happens? Such a pain, such a fear. Oh, my house, my body. You have given so much time, so much effort for this. And to give up, it becomes very, 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 very painful. Right? And that actually brings this anxiety. That brings the fear. The more we are attached, the more anxious and the more fearful we become. But just like a cat holding a rat, right? The atheist people, those who are attached, it's just like, the death is like that. Fear personified. Fear personified. But for a kitten, it's a shelter. That becomes a shelter. For devotee, they really don't care. Marobi, rakhobi, जो इच्छा तोहारा नित्य दास प्रति तुआधिकारा. Oh Krishna, you kill me, you keep me, you love me, you hate me. What is the problem? Because you have all the rights to whatever you want, right? Because I'm a servant. When we have this mindset, actually, very deep mindset, we developed it not like artificially, but this is a very deeper concept or different consciousness to develop. It takes a long time to develop that, actually, to be that dependent on Krishna. Marubi, Rakubi, jo ichha tumhara. We immediately something doesn't happen as our desire, we started challenging Krishna, right? As Kritadhuti, when Kritadhuti, his son Harsashoka, died, right? We know Chitraketu Maharaj's story. She became so upset with God. Krishna, how can you be called merciful? Oh, compassionate Lord. Oh, he's Karuna. Eh? What is this? This is wrong. Krishna cannot be compassionate. He's cruel. And directly starting condemning that way. Because how can he allow a son to die in front of a mother? You see? So this is what will starts happening, right? Because these pains are very real. So that's why we see that this anxiety, sometimes when we really guide it, really on right track, they can become enlightenment, right? Just like the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, observing the army, that's in Sanskrit, says Arjuna Vishad Yoga. The Vishad is a yoga. The anxiety actually is a yoga. Just imagine how Bhagavad Gita is representing anxiety into, right? Because why it is yoga? Because you need to know your weakness. You need to know your disease. You need to know what I need to improve. If you don't know what I have problem, what are you gonna solve? Right? So this Visada Yoga of Arjuna actually reflects that we should know our weakness. Right? And Arjuna, we see how he was paralyzed. He bowed he dropped down his bow. His body is trembling, expressing. My mind, is spins, he's showing a classic shutdown. I don't know what to do. Fight or not to fight, right? Overwhelming, seeing all these people, all the relatives coming on the background. He was paralyzed. So when we praise his Karpanya Dosu Pahata Swami, he's like, I don't know what is right and wrong. Some Muhura Cheta. Yeah. This is what happens, right? So anxiety can make us paralyzed. Anxiety make us, we don't know what to do. We cannot make a decision. That's a problem, right? And other thing, what happens? Overthinking. What Arjuna was doing the same thing. Oh, what if? What if? Oh, they're my brothers. Oh, these are these. We become like, oh, what if I might kill my teachers? My brothers are there. What if all die? Is it really worth it? Right? We overthink like that way sometimes. There's a saying, that the chita dhati nirjivo, chinta dhati jivita. When we have anxiety, actually it eats up the living entity. When the chita, means the fire, actually consumes the dead, right? In the same way, the anxiety actually consumes the living. So we have to be very careful what kind of anxiety we are onto, right? It's very deep. That's why we have so much psychological problem nowadays, so much traumatic situation, because anxiety is very real, right? People go through so much situation in their life. So that's why we need to seek help, right? And then what Arjuna does, he turns to Krishna, right? This is the wisest move Arjuna does, to reach out when anxiety picks. When anxiety is there, we have to take shelter. We have to take guidance. As Krishna says, you have to take shelter of devotees, you have to take shelter of scriptures, you have to take shelter of Guru. These sadhu, Guru, sadhu, shastra, these are our real shelter. If we fail to take this shelter at that time, in the moment, then we'll break down. We will break down. We'll leave Krishna consciousness. We'll stop associating with devotees. We'll do so many things, right? We'll do so many things. Then we lost everything, actually, at that time. So that's why we need to seek help. That's Arjuna did to Krishna. He's seeking help. Krishna, I'm confused, right? He's expressing as it is. He's revealing his heart, Arjuna. Not trying to be artificially, oh, like everything nice, oh, Arjuna. No. He opened his heart. I think last time I told, like, the story of Anand Vrindavan Prabhu, his son, right, Raghunath, was running naked, right? He was 2 or 3 years old. And his father was saying, shame, 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 shame. So what? What shame, shame? I'm his son, right? What would be shameful in front of you? So in the same way, Arjuna expressed, he became open, right? He became naked. He is expressing as it is what he have in his heart, not artificial. That's why at the time Krishna reveals this knowledge, right? So that's why we have to surrender ourselves. Not all our ego has to be crushed and given up. Then only Divya Hriday Prakashita, that will gonna happen. Right? Ha ha Prabhu Koro Doya Deha More Pada Chaya Eviyas Gusukri Bhuvana. So we have to surrender to Guru. Right? Very, very important. So that's why the teachings. Then what happened? Then Krishna gives Bhagavad Gita. Then this real knowledge starts coming. Right? That anxiety, what happens? It redirects to clarity. That's why this self-knowledge, this Atma Buddhi is so important. This knowledge, the Bhagavad Gita, the science of self-realization is so important. And we tend to forget. It's not that, oh, we know so much, even like, the Dharma Parayan, Dharmagya, Dharmaraj, like Yudhishthir, Arjuna, they all broke down who we are. We are nothing. Right? Don't think that, oh, we will not go through this emotion. We all will go through. Will go through with this emotion. But we have to give up our ego and take shelter. That's very important. We need to take shelter. If we don't learn to take shelter from the now itself, with all our ego, we are like proud, we know better. We will not go anywhere. We will not go anywhere, guaranteed. Right? So that's what we need to take. Then the clarity will come. So then will be transformation. Nashto moha smritir lobda yet prasadamaya. Oh, Krishna, I'm now received your prasad, your knowledge, right? Now all my illusion, confusion is gone. Does Arjun arise? Now he acting with full presence of mind. Now because of clarity, all the doubts, everything is done, gone, right? So anxiety dissolved by purpose and understanding. Very, very important. It can be only mitigated like that. When we have proper understanding, what is the real purpose of our life, then all this anxiety is gone, right? So that's why very, very important. So we have to, what Gita gives very nice toolkit, focus on action, not the outcome. As Krishna says, karmani vadikaraste ma phuli sukadachana ma karma phala heturbhur ma te samustaka. When we too much into fruits, oh, I didn't get it. What happens? Oh, I worked so hard, you didn't give me. Then becomes anxiety. And what you have, you got so much attached, then you get fear of losing, right? So anxiety actually is a future living. I supposed to get this, I supposed to get that, right? It says stay present. What is there now? Which situation you are in? Now you have to fight, you have to fight. Forget about what is going to happen in future, right? Focus on action. Focus on the duty. Then second, know the self. You're not this body, right? We have to identify we're not this body or mind. So when we understand beyond this larger identity, actually when we understand, oh, I'm spirit soul, then anxiety actually becomes calm. So this larger identity calms fear, right? And third, find a dharma. We have to understand what is our goal of life, what is our purpose, right? When we have time after time the purpose, actually it is the most powerful antidote to anxiety. The problem, actually, many devotees I've seen, they have all this problem. They forget the goal. Even coming to temple, they create conflicts, they create issue, they have like this, that. Why? Because they forgot the whole purpose why he have came in the first time to the temple. Why I joined Krishna consciousness? To argue, to find fault finding? No, not really. Sometimes I wonder, are we really doing a service or disservice? Right? For example, if I say, oh, Prabhuji, this devotee is bad, he has done this, they are doing. Are what the benefits are you trying to do? Are you trying to correct, or are you like, what is the real point? Right? The whole message has no idea. If you are authority, you're trying to correct someone, that makes sense, right? But here, to do prajalpa, to talk about something that is not helpful. You're breaking down the devotee, his faith, first thing, right? And destroying the whole community. What is the advantage of this? So that's why we have to have this clarity of purpose. I remember always, like, when Ramchandra Prabhu says, whenever we are confused, we have this situation, you had your goal locked in within your heart. You open that key again. Why I came again? Open it. See, oh, okay. Remind ourselves, actually, right? When we have this tendency of fault finding, what is my purpose? What I'm doing, right? Is it helpful? That's what Krishna says, anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyam hitam chayat, right? Even is truth, Krishna says, is it benefit? Then why are you talking? Right? Is it priya? Is it pleasing? Why are you talking? Right? So for that you need to swadhyayam vyasanam chaiva vangmaya tapa uchyate. This is austerity of speech, right? Truth doesn't mean that, oh, is it truth, I'm going to speak. No, Krishna says satyam priyam hitam chayet. This is the principle, these are the foundation that this truth has been spoken. If it's really helpful, is it pleasing, is it beneficial? Very important, right? Now another fourth point is detachment. We have to be detached, right? So perform duty without clinging to result. Because when we are so much attached to result, what happens? We have more anxiety. Because, oh, I didn't achieve it. I worked so hard. Like, even India, there's a lot of suicidal thoughts. So many IITians, they suicide. Gauranga Prabhu was telling one time, one of the student, he did not top, He was second, and he suicide. Right? Even topper suicide because I was expecting 100 marks on this. I got 98, and he suicide. That's a situation, right? Because when you're so much attached to the results, right, then that fear will consume us. That anxiety will consume us very deep, actually. So we have to give up attachment. You do. Krishna says your duty. What is the right you have? Krishna says to perform action. That's the only part you have. The fruits, nothing. You have no adhikar of that. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't come, it doesn't come. Simple as that, right? So when we are detached, then it reduces stress and surrender ultimately, right? Whenever we feel this is beyond our control, let it go. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Just breathe in and breathe out. You have to let it go, right? Because it's not in a hole. The thing you try to say, oh, this is on my control, I'm gonna control. There's one beautiful analogy. It's like a sand. What happens to the sand? You try to grab it, the more you hold it, what happens? It comes out. It comes out. It comes out. It's like that. So we have to give up. We have to let it go. Certain things, right? Something is not beyond our control. That will makes us less anxious and be very fearless. So many slides to we can continue, or it's already 39, bro. Gopal, bro.
Hare Krishna. So I
Yeah,
think it's
this will not finish because
9:40.
it's long
9:40.
session.
Yeah. So how much more you have, Prabhu?
A lot.
So maybe we'll do the part two next time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
maybe sometime. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, let's take the reflections and ask questions. So it's a very interesting topic. So I'm pretty sure devotees may have a lot of questions as well. Um, just let me just announce a few things. 10, give me 30 seconds, announce a few things here. Where is that? It go. Screen. Application. Okay. So I hope you can see my screen share. Is it
Yes, bro.
visible?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. So this is our website, ISKCON of Bergen. .org, our Radhashyam Sundar, Nimai Nitai, and like this Wednesday Sangha, we host these programs every Wednesday on the Zoom 8:30 to 9:30 on the various beautiful, wonderful topics, speakers around the world, and audience, wonderful audience like you. This Sunday we'll be having the in-person program. Mr. Ramchandra will be speaking on a Krishna Katha. And anybody who's moving to New Jersey area or be not part of the Bhakti Bridge, we do Bhakti Bridge programs on Fridays. So you can click on this link, join us, and we'll connect you with one of the groups. We do the Bhagavad Gita reading on midday Bhagavad Gita reading on the working days, Monday to Friday, 12 to 12:15 on the same Zoom. And in the morning, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., we do the Japa session, Japa together. Um, um, and then there's this, we have nice calendar with all the events listed here. Um, so today, the Ekadasi is coming on the 10th. Friday, Yogini Ekadasi, breakfast on Saturday, 5:34 p.m. to 10:32. So that's our ISKCON calendar, and all these sessions are recorded and posted on our channel, on YouTube channel, ISKCON of Bergen YouTube channel. You can find it, and some links are also posted here. With that, I'll stop this. Any questions? Let's process the questions quickly. I see a couple of hands were there. Jayapati Mataji, you have some question?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Uh, Yes, Prabhu. It's wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Ram Tulsi Prabhu, for such a um, wonderful class. I was thinking about one question like Krishna gives us remembrance and forgetfulness, right? So there are many things sometimes we forget, and like our goal. Still, we come to temple. We hear so many kathas. Our goal, we forget our goal. So, what is the reason we forget, and how can we pray to Krishna? We don't want. We want to remember you, Krishna, all the time. We want to remember you. We don't want to come back again in this material world, which is full of miseries. So, how can we pray that? Although all this in this like Mm, in this world, there are so many things, right?
Yes.
Mm.
Actually, you know, it's it's all about how seriously we are looking for it, right? So we can see that every serious devotee in Bhagavatam, if you see that they are successful in spiritual life because they have not lost the track. They were always focused on the goal, right? Just like if you know that you're holding a golden bag, for example, wherever you go, will you be so careless putting here and there? No. Even you want to go to bathroom, what you'll say? Can you will give you'll assign someone, not even randomly anybody, someone whom you trust. Hey, please, can you look after this golden bag? I need to go to washroom, right? When you come back again, you'll check, all right? Or if you have put some money in your purse, big amount of money, what you'll do? You'll be very careful. So in the same way, when we understand that Krishna consciousness is such a valuable thing, it can be say that it is so simple that it can be missed like that, right? So that's how we have to remind ourselves. That's why association is so important for of all of us to make us a remind that we don't get away from our real goal, because material life, this material energy has so many distractions, right? There is one story about this king. Actually, in his birthday, he announces that whoever comes in this birthday and meet me, I will give whatever they demand, right? And this one Vaishnava, he goes, and what was done at the time, king has extended the whole kingdom with so many things to come to that to the king itself. They have many gates. So one gate they have like different entertainments, free, fruits, bars. Next gate they have so many things, like so many gates to cross over. And what happens, people come, wow, oh wow, here mela lag gaya udhar, oh wow, yeah. They spend 1 hour here. Next gate again, they are so much involved, but too late. They never reach the gate of the king, right? And the devotee, he knows, is because he was so focused, he did not get allured all this charismatic thing. He continuously traveled through all the gates and met the king. You see, same thing. We have to be like that. There will be distractions, right? There are distractions. I can tell you, devotees get distracted. All this, we sometimes we get distracted by positions. Sometimes we get distracted by opposite sex. Sometimes we distracted by money. Sometimes we get distracted by prestige. So many things. There are so many aspects of getting distracted, actually, right? Even so that's why actually, to remind ourselves, Bharat Maharaj, he got distracted, right? Coming to the same point, right? But once he realized that this distraction has cost me, the whole one life, I missed it. Then after that, he never got distracted after that. So how was he able to do that? He was so focused on his goal. Even when he was a deer, he was always with the sadhus, taking their remnants. Always wherever saints were there, he was sitting there, nearby the kutir, nearby this. This is what he did. When he became Jat Bharat, no matter how much people humiliated him, all his family members humiliated him, so badly humiliated him. They used to call him dumb, make him work as a dog, like donkey. But he didn't even speak. He didn't even retaliate because he was so focused within. He didn't want to expose anything what is going within the heart because he was so focused in his goal. Because he know once I get distracted, I will be distracted. So that's why this distraction is very real. Dhruv Maharaj, right? So focused. Narad Muni was what is trying to test him. Oh, Dhruv, you're a small baby, 5 years old. Why are you taking, somebody's, criticism so seriously? It's just a mother, like, saying some, why are you taking so harsh word as very seriously? Child can take, things, praise also temporary, a chastisement also temporary. Right? For some time, he'll get upset again, cool down. Again, you praise somebody, again, that goes cool down. Right? Why take it so seriously? But he was so focused on goal. He started Naramani, if you are here to help, please help, otherwise go away. You see that? Because when we are focused, we know what we need to do. Right? That's why we need to take shelter of devotees. Then we start taking shelter of Krishna. Because one who have taken shelter will never fall down. Right? Because you have taken the right shelter. The whole Krishna consciousness process is, what is the whole process of Krishna consciousness? Is taking right shelter. Shelter, everybody is trying to take shelter. But it is a right shelter or wrong shelter. Right? With all this emotion one goes through. What people do sometimes. They took wrong shelter. They drink, they become a drunkard, somebody take poison and die, somebody try to suicide, right? Somebody try to take a gun and kill everybody. See, it's emotions, right? But they got distracted. They're taking wrong shelter. But that's why the Krishna consciousness is all about taking a right shelter, getting guided properly, right? Put us in the right foot, right? So that we know where to go, right? Distraction will come. That's why that's why the success of Krishna consciousness, as we say, there is need of someone someone to chastise us, actually. To chastise us. The problem with us is there is nobody to chastise. If a devotee chastises us, senior devotee chastises us, we become retaliating. Right? When are we going to grow? Right? Previously, I think Haladhar Maharaj was saying, how much kind of, we were like, when we were brahmacharis, Maharaj used to say, how much kind of chastisement we get. Guru Maharaj used to chastise us like right and left. Even we go to Yatra, what do you think? Yatra going is good or bad? Prabhuji Maharaj was saying, we did not even go. Whatever Maharaj says, go preaching, book revision, Sankirtan, book reading, whatever Maharaj said, we do. No speculation, no whimsical thing we do. Right? That's surrender. Right? The surrender to that devotee made them like this today. Made them such a stunned devotee like that way. Prabhupada, all the disciples, why they became successful? Because they took shelter of his words very, very seriously. Very, very seriously. Now we challenge, even chanting challenge, hearing challenge, giving challenge, everywhere challenge we have. Oh, too busy, too busy, too busy. Of course, too busy. Right? Busy for doing what? Right? Because that busy has to be for Krishna consciousness ultimately. Right? So we have to remind somebody has to be there. That's why we put in all these programs, when the Sangha, Friday Bhakti Vrikshas, Sunday programs, so many festivals, just to remind our children. But what happens? We all just come. I think last time also, it just become a social club. Then that's a problem. People come temple, hardly in the class, staying outside talking, that's what happens. Not in a kirtan, not staying in a kirtan, all these things are problem, right? Because we forget the whole purpose of coming even center. Forget about, coming, practicing sincerely, all those things are secondary. Even coming to the center, what is the whole purpose? Oh, I can go here and there, but why I have to do this? We completely forget. How much time we spend? 4:30, like 2-3 hours. That also we cannot not focus completely in service and Krishna. So that's the main problem. So we have to keep us reminding. So hearing, assuming with devotees and accepting. Acceptance is so important. Acceptance, the instruction of Guru, acceptance of Shiksha Guru, all these are very, very important. You may like it, you may not like it. You think it's wrong, but he's no, not wrong. Follow. Then you'll see that those devotees who have followed, they're all successful devotees. Radhesham Prabhu, Gauranga Prabhu, they know, they don't like it, but they have to do it. When Ramakrishna Maharaj was told by Prabhupada, Ramakrishna, you go and preach in China. Hey, Prabhupada, I'm already doing wonderful preaching here. Why I'm sending there, right? You go. But even he doesn't like, he went. So that's the thing. And
Thank you,
hopefully
Prabhu.
that answers.
So much. Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone else has any question? All right. So Prabhuji covered 3 parts of emotions, understanding and handling: anger, grief, anxiety, and fear. And maybe one of these days we'll do the rest of the part 2 session of this emotions, understanding and handling. It's a beautiful topic, very important topic for all of us. And I appreciate Prabhuji for giving his wisdom on this topic. We all can unmute and thank Prabhuji for this, and we'll conclude with this. If any questions, many of you know him already, you can ask the questions in person as well. Okay. All right. Let's thank Prabhuji. Unmute with cloud. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol.
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram.
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.